Space Shuttle Atlantis, the last scheduled flight. Live on Spaceflight Now with Miles O'Brien, David Waters, and astronaut Leroy Chow.
So let's talk to our friends in the Coalition for Space Exploration, shall we? Because I'm tired about talking about pip
no more
pins
pip
with you.
pins.
All I do is talk about pip pins with you. It gets old. It gets old. Jeannie Krantz is here, Coalition for Space Exploration, which cares deeply about space exploration, but beyond that, we don't know what they're thinking about because we don't know where we're headed in space. But Jeannie has very clear thoughts on this, right?
I do.
What should we be doing right now?
I think we should be doing what we're doing. There's a couple. They have laid out a plan. The administration has laid out a plan for going beyond LEO, and it might not be the same plan that we had 4 or 5 years ago, but we need to be doing something. There continues to be disagreement on what and how, and there will be. But bottom line is we need to keep pressing. We need to keep pressing beyond. And right now, collectively, industry, the public, everyone needs to understand why we're doing it. As you know, I heard a little bit of the tail end of your conversation before about the costs, and you know, the costs. It is an investment. It is not a sinkhole. It is not any of that. It is truly an investment. And what other programs are there out there? National programs where the money comes back, and everything from 7-fold, 10-fold, 8-fold.
Sure.
Bottom line is it's across the board a phenomenal thing for our nation.
Yeah,
all right, so a couple thoughts here. First of all, how do we shift the discussion from the space community going at it, which is what we have, a small group of people fighting over some crumbs, to a unified space community saying, you know what, give us $3 billion more a year. We got no issues. We have a program we can be proud of.
Absolutely.
We have no debates. The commercial sector comes to thrive. We fund something. We have enough money to fly the shuttle a little longer to keep our workforce intact. All these things kind of fall into place for a very little bit of money. How are we going to make that argument?
Quite frankly, our country. And we succeeded some great things of the past, and we've succeeded in some great things now in the ISS and in the space shuttle, and we did it.
Hang on 1 sec. We got to listen in for 1 second.
Okay.
Let's listen.
The installation was verified during installation. The proper tip-pin installation was verified. The one ball bearing that we did find on Lost and Found PR, we believe that that was one only, and it's highly unlikely that it actually came from the tip pin based on the way it's manufactured. We believe that the tip pin still has good, by dimensional analysis, has a good fit into the cameras. If it were in fact from one of the cameras in the payload bay, review of closeout photos showed that all tip pins were in place, and based on that and the discussion we had with SSPO 161, we are recommending to remove this IPR from the constraints list and requesting PMRB chair concurrence to go ahead and remove this IPR.
Okay, I copy all, and sounds like you've got good flight rationale, and at this point you're calling IPR 45 no longer a constraint and requesting taking that off the constraints list, and I concur with that recommendation.
And NTD, SP.
Go ahead, SC.
Let's see, what I'd like to do as PMRB chair, I would like to formally request that CMQC remove IPR 0045.
All right, there you have it. That's a non-issue. We went from pip pin, we were in DEFCON 1 in the pip pin, and now we're moving on.
Good.
We're moving on.
Absolutely.
The bottom line is that even the pip pin is probably still well seated.
They don't believe that ball bearing came from that pip pin.
Oh, I missed that part.
Yeah, that's what he said in the beginning. So they think it's totally fine.
Okay, excellent.
And even if it weren't, it's still tethered, and there's the other fasteners attached.
So we've gone fully awfulized into
fully
unauthorized. Sunny day, and our pip pinologist Leroy Chow concurs, right? So
that's right.
You were saying something very profound. So let's
start over.
Very profound.
Start again.
Let's profundize for a moment.
Yes, let's profundize.
After we've awfulized.
Yeah.
You mentioned the question started with where do we go from here, and there's some additional money that's needed. I kind of question, this nation, this program has been challenged to do some good things, and while we are, driving technology to do, to go and do some of these things, why not challenge industry, challenge NASA, challenge our country to make it happen? I mean, literally, here's the budget, here's a time frame, do it, make it happen. I mean, it might simply be that we're not challenged, and maybe when you have a limited amount of budget and a limited amount of time, and industry is kind of forced to come together at the risk of losing everything, do it. Pull together as a team. We need to. This industry, again, it's pitting one side against the other. NASA needs to succeed. It is important for our country, and we're not going to be able to succeed unless we're collectively doing so.
So divided we fall.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so I know you have some strong thoughts on this, but just hear me out on this. The fact that there is a space station in orbit now,
yes,
is a testament to international cooperation in space.
Absolutely.
And I know your dad, legendary Gene Kranz, of a different era, is not a big believer in this notion. You know, it's kind of a different. There was a Cold War mindset then. It was a different era. Go it alone made sense.
Yep.
Should we be going it alone now?
Personally, I don't think so. Again, given the success of the partnerships with the International Space Station, I think if you have, the agreements of the partners, and as we, discussed just a month ago at Space Symposium, there, as long as there are similar agendas and the goal is to go peacefully forward, I think that's what it's about. Everyone can play in the game, and quite frankly, in the budget environment, it's helpful. It helps us to enable each other and do it collectively. We ought to make sure that we're paying attention to the partners that want to come on board, and again, make sure that we're of like agenda.
Sure.
And then move out. But it was a different time then. It's a different time now. It's not always going to fit cookie cutter the way it was.
Well, it's a generational thing. I mean, I talked to the Apollo astronauts. They like your dad. Same thing. It's a generational thing. But I agree with you. Which is
where, I mean, not to get into that, but is where a lot of the difficulty lies right now, with the paradigm shift of NASA not controlling it as much as they had,
right,
and even sharing that. Again, we can do that collectively. It's just that's what we've known for 50 years.
Right.
If we bring this together, the known with the unknown, and again work together and make it happen. Our program is not political. It is not it is a bipartisan effort. It should not be.
Right.
This is a national program.
Jeannie Krantz with the Coalition for Space Exploration, one of our loyal and consistent sponsors. We thank you for your support, and we thank you for all the good you do, and thank you for dropping by.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, we'll see you.
Have a good one.
At the launch.
Absolutely.